Hello, hello, hello. I am back from South Africa, and thank you, Steve Wicks, for stepping in and doing more than an amazing job in my absence. Welcome to the Bloomington Rotary Club's weekly celebration of service, everyone. My name is Tracy Ivanovich, and I'm proud and honored to be your president. Thought for the day. This one applied to me. No one looks stupid when they're having fun. That's why I'm always trying to have fun. That was Amy Poehler, of all people. So let me kick it off. Mr. Bright, Mr. Rotary, there. I'm still not used to you without your glasses. Let's have a lovely reflection.
Thank you so much, President Tracy, and welcome home. It's great to have you back in town. With the deadline to buy tickets for this year's Rotary Toast just 12 days away, I thought I might take a page out of my old playbook when I was teaching here at IU and give you all a pop quiz. So if you think you know the answer to the questions that I ask, raise your hand. And if I think you're the first person to raise your hand, we'll call on you. I had planned to bring some door prizes, some Hershey bars, but I left them on my desk at home. So at any rate, this is just for extra credit. Okay, question number one. Who was the first person honored at the original Bloomington Rotary Toast back in 2015? Yes, Elizabeth. Well, Dr. Larry Rink. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's one for Elizabeth. Number two, when and where will this year's toast be held? When and where? In the back, Stacy. Shreve Hall at Ivy Tech. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, that's good. And yeah, the other is when, Stacy. Okay, that's good. I was afraid you were only going to get partial credit. Okay. Name one location where the toast was held before it was moved to Shreve Hall. May I see
Assembly Hall.
Yes, Lynn. Yeah, one World Rotary Mill, or Woolery Mill, Woolery Mill. Yeah, I kind of like the sound of Rotary Mill too. Okay, this next one, in fairness, and don't go to sleep up there on the Zoom board, but this is for the Zoom crowd. Name one person who has served as MC of the Rotary Toast. Zoom crowd.
Sylvia McNair.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, and that Sylvia also will be this year's MC. Thank you. Who was that? Alan. Well done.
Alan.
Alan. Okay, terrific. Okay, and the next question is going to be a really hard one. Who is this year's MC? Never mind. We'll shoot past that one. Okay, the next question. Who are we honoring at this year's Rotary Toast? Lynn Schwartzberg. Doug Bowder. Okay, partial credit for Lynn and partial credit for Byron. Well done, team. Okay, what charity has Doug Bowder chosen to receive? Oh, right here. Making a fashion statement there, Tim. Okay, what person will be honored at this year's toast? Who's our honoree? Yes. Doug Bowder. Okay, Glenda Murray. Well done. Okay, name one charity chosen by a past toast honoree. Yes, Sally. Habitat for Humanity. Well done. Yeah, Habitat for Humanity was chosen during Charlotte's year of 2021, as I recall. Okay. In what year did the toast set the record for the most money raised for charity? And who was the honoree that year? The person, yes, John. Charlotte might have been runner-up, but there was someone else who, anybody on, okay, let's go to Tracy. Okay, we got one back there. Okay, yeah, Judy Schroeder. Yep, if you can give me the year, that's extra credit. 2020, wow. Out of the park. Well done. You get an A for this session, Judy Schroeder. Okay. Um, from what Rotary Club did we borrow the idea for the Rotary Toast? What Rotary Club has had a Rotary? Yeah, Liz Feidel. New Albany, my hometown, the New Albany Rotary Club. And I think they've been going something like 30 years strong. We've raised $348,000 in 9 years, and they've gone well beyond $1 million in their, nearly 30 years. Okay, how much does a ticket cost to attend this year's toast? Natalie, $100. Well done, Natalie. Okay, and let's see. I'm sorry, I've forgotten about the Zoom people here. Okay, how do I buy my tickets? And let's see, Natalie. Yeah, see Natalie, and you can get a brochure, and they look like this. So get a brochure. If you forget to pick up your brochure, just go to the website rotarytoast.com and order your tickets online. You can pay for credit card. Thank you so much. What do I have some good students here or what? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Bright. And I think we had some group chat cheating going on, I'm just going to say. All right. And Hank, if you would mind coming up and introducing all our guests.
Thanks, Tracy. I'm here to welcome all the guests in person. When I read your name, if you could stand and let us recognize and thank you for joining us. First up, Mary Ellen Brown, who's a guest of Leanne Radcliffe. Philip Mack, who's a guest of Dick McCaig. June Wan from Rotaract. Two guests of Jim Bright, Alan Veach and Brenda Stover. And Elizabeth Stell, a guest of Heidi Schultz. Joy, do we have any guests online?
No, we don't. My name is not Joy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alain. It's great to see you all. And Tracy, I've got this beautiful picture behind me. I thought you'd look at it. I don't believe that we have any guests online today, but everybody is happy to be here from Rotary.
Okay, thank you, Alon. Either your pants were too tight or that was a Joy impersonation. I'm not sure which. All right, so from a birthday standpoint, I'm going to pull an audible here. First of all, we don't have any birthdays this week. However, I'm going to do one. We aren't doing Happy Dollar today, but I'm doing one happy dollar. If I could ask Sarah to come up and share some happy news for us on the birthday announcement. Come up to the microphone because everybody online is going to want to hear this.
Good afternoon. Today I have 25 happy dollars because in 2025 I become a mom. So, baby girl Cochran, early 2025.
It doesn't get any better than that. So thank you for sharing that exciting news and bringing tears to our eyes. All right, anniversaries. Rex Hillary, 13 years. And Art, where is Art here? I don't think I heard him. There you are. You were very quiet today. Well, we got a boisterous group. Yeah, right. So 10 years for Art. So phenomenal job. Announcements, as Professor Bright brought up, we do still have tickets for sale. So far from our club, we have 36 tickets. Thank you to Jeff Richardson, Professor Bright, and Judy Schroeder for buying out full tables, but we can do more. So for those of you who haven't got your tickets, get them while the getting's good. Secondly, the Bloomington Chamber announced their 2024 annual meeting and community award recipients, and our own Jeff Baldwin and Marcus DeBro were recipients. And kudos Stacy Bruce and Aaron Spoonmore for a job well done in pulling together the event. It was really good feedback given, so nice job. Now comes the part of the show when we get to bring Mike Baker up and all the recipients for the Paul Harris Fellowship Award. And just as a reminder, Harris Fellowship Award is one of the highest honors Rotary can bestow upon a person. It's named after Paul Harris, the founder of Rotary. And to achieve this, one needs to contribute a total of $1,000 to the humanitarian and educational programs of Rotary. Recipients receive a certificate, pin, and medallion, and there are multiple ways to contribute, either quarterly or lump sum. Just let Natalie know if you'd like to contribute, and we can get that set up for you. So remember that these funds drive our mission, which is worldwide, of a shared responsibility to take action on our most persistent issues, specifically promoting peace. I think we could use that. Fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. So with that, to recognize our honorees, I'd like to invite Mike Baker up, as well as our honorees. Do you want me to have them come now, or do you want to call them? Okay.
You might not remember that I got this to remind me to watch the time. You can't see my notes, but I've written lined them all out because President Tracy did a good job explaining why we do this. Before I get started, I thought I would mention that I just read about this too in the paper, so it's a few weeks old. There was 3 people that were up at the pearly gates, and they were talking to St. Peter about getting into heaven. And one of them was a doctor. And so St. Peter said, what can I give you before you come in? He said, I'd like $1 million. Granted. Second one was an attorney. And so St. Peter said, what can I give you before you enter heaven? He said, well, I'd like 2 million. Great. The third person was from the Rotary Foundation. So St. Peter asked, is there anything I can give you? So he snuck up to him real quietly and he said, can you give me their names and contact information? I had more, but Jim Bright cut into my time. So yes, the reason we do this, it is a big deal when a person becomes a Paul Harris Fellow, because it represents their commitment to Rotary International. Today, we recognize, and when I call your name, please join me up here. Past President Ron Barnes, Rex Hillary, Craig Spence, James Wolfe, and Glenn Stenberger. Ron joined our club in 2017, but has over 20 years of experience as a Rotarian. Ron received his Doctor of Education from IU and is emeritus professor at IU in education. In his past, Ron has been assistant principal, senior high school principal, and superintendent of schools in Orleans Park, Illinois. My fondest memories of Ron as our club president was his continuously reminded me before every Rotary Paul Harris Fellow presentation to keep it short. A practice President Tracy seems to be following. Ron will be receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +2. Rex Hillary has been a member of our club since 2011, retired from being a claims representative in the Social Security Administration. Rex is one of those quiet Rotarians who always shows up for community service projects. And for interview receiving Social Security and have been declined to claim, Rex's name is likely on it. You may not know, he bakes a great loaf of bread and supposedly throws a great St. Patrick's Day party, although I've never been invited. Rex will be receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +1. Dr. Craig Spence has been a member of our club since 1992. Retired physician from the Monroe Health Group. He graduated from IU School of Medicine in 1974 and has specialized in addictive medicine, adolescent, pediatrics, and family medicine. Member of our club since 1992, Craig is an avid art collector, mainly paintings. I think he might have a couple of TC Steeles or 2. He studied classical piano at IU School of Music. There used to be a piano in the Frangipani room, and if somebody was going to play any song within 1 or 2 notes, he could cringe and tell you if it was out of tune or not. That is true. That's why he never wanted to play it. He is from Princeton, Indiana, so he knows a lot about popcorn. But this will be Craig's Paul Harris Fellow +1. Glenn, glad you made it today. Sindberger joined our club in 2013. He is Hoosier Trails Council Scouting American CEO. He has worked for Scouts over 30 years, 14 here in Bloomington. Estimated he served over 150,000 kids through his career. He started in sales. He wasn't really happy about the product he was selling, so he went to his sales manager, and his sales manager was smart and said, find a product that you really believe in, which was scouting. And I think that's great. He's a consummate handyman. And if you're on Facebook, you'll see him building, remodeling, adding on his cabin in Nashville, always outside doing something, stacking wood, cutting wood, building things, always. So if you need somebody to help sometime with wiring or plumbing, you could probably give him a call. Oh, I'm sorry. I promise not to mention, in his youth, he was into competitive ice dancing. National champion. 1983. Glenn is receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +1. Okay. And last but not least, James Wolf has been a member of our club since 2022, but he's been in Rotary over 22 years, mostly in, and help me with, is it Faribault? Faribault. Okay, Faribault, Minnesota, where he served as president of their club. He received his master's in hospital administration from the University of Minnesota, Doctor of Science from Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, worked at the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit, Cook County Hospital in Chicago, and District 1 Hospital in Faribault, Minnesota. He grew up in a very small town. He likes people to know that, Truman, Minnesota. He's an avid runner, having done 23rd marathons, but now he's doing shorter distances. And it's a good thing that he runs because what I've been told, he is addicted to donuts. And you've never met one you didn't like. Yes. James will be receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +1 today. This really is a big deal. This is why we take time to celebrate our Paul Harris Fellows today. Please stand and join me in recognizing these gentlemen. President Ron. Craig. Glenn. Nick passed you here.
Yep. Get them all? Did you get them all?
I got them all.
Okay.
Rex, come on over here. They want to get your picture.
All right, that was a fabulous presentation, and congratulations again to all our recipients, and thank you for all that you are doing for world causes. On that note, Megan, if you would mind coming up and helping introduce our guests and the program.
Don't forget that. Okay. Well, I'm really pleased to introduce our speaker today, and she is Jennifer Myers. She's been the director of Monroe Smart Start for more than a decade. And as you heard from Tina, if you were here last week, Tina Peterson, Monroe Smart Start is a leadership initiative of the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County. It was established after a long, comprehensive planning process to identify a key area where Monroe County needed proactive leadership. It started as a coalition of community stakeholders and has now grown into a regional leader that's increasing access to high-quality early care and education. So Jennifer works alongside early childhood educators, advocates, businesses, and nonprofit leaders to catalyze our community to support our youngest learners, including those that we'll be welcoming in 2025. Parenting a child with autism has shaped Jennifer's perspectives and advanced her advocacy skills. both which are essential to her role at Monroe Smart Start. She has become a trusted and respected voice for early learning, both at a state level and at a national level. She's an innovative problem solver, she's creative, and she's inspiring. These are really big issues that Jennifer is working on, and it would be easy, I think, to be daunted by those, but she consistently approaches this work with hope and with passion. And I really admire her for all of those reasons. So please join me in welcoming Jennifer Myers.
Today to speak about something I'm super passionate about. Thank you. Whether you're a parent, a new parent to be, as we heard, a grandparent, aunt, or uncle, early learning really does impact all of us. It's an investment that helps children thrive, and it also strengthens our community as a whole. Let's see. Now, I'm really bad at remembering to advance slides, so I'm going to give that to you first. Great. Brendan, will you? Let's see. Great. Got it. Thank you. Research shows that high quality early childhood education provides one of the highest returns on public investment. It yields at least $4 for every dollar invested, and some research even says that it's even higher than that, anywhere from $7 to $13 for every dollar invested. Children's brains are the most impressionable during the first 5 years of life. That's when 90% of a child's brain is developed. During this critical period, approximately 1 million new neural connections are formed every second, laying the groundwork for all future learning. So adult connections are crucial for brain development. When caregivers engage and they're interacting with infants and young children, they're helping to build and strengthen those essential neural connections in a child's brain. But unfortunately, when children face challenges like stress and even poverty, they lack these vital connections. And as a result, the neural connections may not fully develop, and it leaves children with a weaker foundation for future learning. High quality early care and education programs are essential for all children, particularly our most vulnerable populations. Children that attend a high quality preschool are more likely to succeed in school, graduate, and even earn more than 60% as others over a lifetime. When children do not have healthy early experiences and environments that support that, they can develop deficits in skills and abilities, and that leads to negative outcomes, such as increased educational cost, juvenile delinquency, crime, and even poor health. Families that have access to affordable early learning programs are able to earn while their children learn, and parents have the opportunity then to go to school, advance their careers, and improve their family's financial future. Communities that invest in early learning, quality early learning, they gain economic prosperity as families and children prosper, and communities benefit from future citizens who vote, pay taxes, and raise families. I hope that you find today's presentation will provide a clear understanding of how access to high quality early care and education impacts an economic vitality, the priority areas of Monroe Smart Start, and ways that you can get involved. With 2 out of 3 parents of young children working in our community, families urgently need childcare options. 5,292 children, to be exact. However, some families struggle to find affordable childcare, and others have difficulty accessing high-quality seats. In Monroe County, 75% of children under age 6 require childcare because all individuals in the household are working. But less than 50% can be served at a regulated program. And a regulated program is defined as a licensed childcare, a registered ministry, or a legally exempt program, like a school corporation that offers childcare or pre-K. And among those who secure a childcare spot in a regulated program, 70% are enrolled in programs that are high quality, as evidenced by their rating in our state's rating system known as Paths to Quality. More than 1/4 of families in Monroe County with young children are single-parent households. So this suggests that there might be a greater need for childcare services. Currently, our community can serve only 34% of the children who need care with high-quality care. High-quality care is defined as a level 3 or a level 4 in Indiana's Paths to Quality rating system. In 2022, the median income for households in Monroe County with children under 18 was $92,684. While data specifically for families with children under 6 is limited, it's likely that household incomes for these families are even lower, as younger parents may be less established in the workforce, and so they may even be staying home because of childcare challenges. The early care and education workforce plays a crucial role by offering 2 essential services. 1, they provide childcare so their parents can work. And 2, they create learning environments where young children grow and develop and therefore thrive. However, childcare is really expensive. It's compared to 1 year of tuition at a public university. So the average cost of preschool in our county of Monroe at a level 3 or 4 program is over $11,000 a year. And so while families that seek high quality for an infant and toddler care, they pay even more, $13,000. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, childcare is considered affordable if it costs a family no more than 7% of their yearly income. And without childcare subsidies, high quality programs remain out of the reach for vulnerable families. And additionally, families without subsidies that have multiple children, they also struggle to access quality programs. Indiana still remains one of only 6 states that does not widely offer pre-K support. However, there are few programs in our state that do help to subsidize childcare, such as Head Start, On My Way Pre-K, and CCDF vouchers. Eligibility requirements can create gaps though, particularly for working poor families who earn too much to qualify for that type of assistance. But locally, we do have some additional options that help reduce the burden of high tuition costs for 4-year-olds specifically, such as Monroe County Community Schools referendum subsidy. We also have Title I funding that gets a little creative in serving 4 and 3-year-olds for our school corporations, both of them. And then Compass Early Learning Center offers a sliding scale fee program. Not all communities have programs that offer sliding scale, so it's really helpful for families. And then additionally, we have home visiting support. These are really critical for families that cannot receive infant and toddler care, but they need additional support. And so that comes through our Early Head Start program. And we also have Nurse Family Partnership. That is currently serving 112 first-time parents at 28 weeks pregnancy or less. But like any business, operating a child care involves various costs, with staffing being the largest expense, and it's also the greatest challenge. In Bloomington, lead early childhood educators earn an average of just $13 an hour. That's $25,000 a year. And meanwhile, kindergarten teachers start at $55,000, more than double. But despite the crucial function that early childhood professionals serve, 53% of Indiana's childcare workforce receive public benefits due to low wages. Through Monroe Smart Start, the Community Foundation is actively working to enhance access to high-quality early learning opportunities in our county and throughout the Indiana Uplands region. Since 2009, our foundation has invested over $3 million in early learning, which has resulted in adding 272 seats for low-income families and increasing the quality of care by 163%. 3 years ago, we launched a shared services hub. Shared services bring together small early care and education programs and create a centralized infrastructure. That helps to reduce costs. It also strengthens management systems, defines better efficiencies among these child care program owners, and eliminates the duplication of services. Our hub today consists of 20 local high-quality early childhood programs, and they collectively serve 1,300 children. A favorite member service of our hub is a local substitute pool. After 20 months of operation, we've onboarded 40 subs who collectively have worked over 400 jobs now and have generated over $50,000 in wages that's gone back into our local economy. Over 25,000 children have received literacy materials and developmental resources and age-appropriate books through our literacy program that's called Let's Read. It's housed in all of the IU Riley Health pediatric sites. Little free libraries also offer additional opportunities for children to build their home library. And so scattered around town, you'll find 4 libraries that the Community Foundation has donated to our nonprofit partners who serve children. And we're a Dolly Parton Imagination Library community. So families have the opportunity to receive 1 free book every month from birth to age 5, simply by just signing up at imaginationlibrary.com. And to date, we've served over 3,600 children with books every month. Our foundation provides the matching funds that's required to receive On My Way Pre-K funding. This is done through the Lewis Fund for Early Childhood Education, the official endowment of the Thrive by 5 campaign. In fact, we do have some Thrive by 5 heroes that are with us today. We've spotted, so Elizabeth, Stella, we did spot you. Glenda Murray also spotted, great, thank you both. And then Charlotte Zitlow, she's was a wonderful advocate during our Thrive by 5 campaign. And then leading the efforts of that committee were our co-chairs, Jessica Hain and Jessica Merkel, who I know that you're also familiar with. And because of our community's support of Thrive by 5, we've supported 451 children with On My Way Pre-K vouchers. Having served in my role for 13 years, I've gained some experience that helps support coalition building efforts throughout our state and in the Indiana Uplands region through the 2021 Ready Early Learning Initiative, which engaged 150 stakeholders added 193 new childcare seats, and increased quality by 61% for children that were participating in our cohort. The lack of early care and education has proven to have a significant impact on employers, the local economy, and the workforce. To better understand the impact of inadequate childcare on employers, we conducted a regional survey targeting a diverse range of firms throughout the Indiana uplands, and our findings indicate that employers in our region are significantly impacted by the lack of childcare options. 65% of Monroe County employers identify childcare as an important factor in their employees' decisions to work in Monroe County, while 45% said that childcare is an important factor for employees' decisions to live in Monroe County. And 36% said that their companies are having difficulty recruiting and hiring employees because of childcare related issues. And this lack of access to childcare is having significant impact on the economy of the state of Indiana. Based on a study completed by Early Learning Indiana and Indiana University in 2018, Indiana is losing $1.8 billion combined annually because of direct cost of absences and employee turnover due to the lack of childcare. And what does this mean for our county? It's a loss of $36.1 million. The mission of Monroe Smart Start to ensure that all children are ready for school and for life requires collaborative efforts that prove innovative and catalytic. Our foundation recently applied for a regional grant through the Lilly Endowment Gift 8 opportunity. If awarded, Monroe Smart Start will lead Ready Early Learning in the Indiana uplands, a coordinated approach to sustainably improve early childhood education access, quality throughout our region. Our investment in young children would not be possible without the generosity of those in our community. Monroe Smart Start's early childhood initiatives are made possible each year thanks to generous donors who have established funds to make high quality early childhood education a reality for even more children in Monroe County. We invite you to follow us on social media if you aren't a follower already, to stay informed on early learning priorities, especially during the upcoming legislative session. Also, help us spread the word about our substitute opportunity. We're always looking for more subs to feed into our pipeline. Help us keep little free libraries stocked. If you have children's books lying around home, gather those and keep those little free libraries stocked. And if you're a business owner or a former business owner, I'd love to connect with you about our Employer Resource Network. It aims to expand childcare access through creative employer and childcare partnerships. If you're looking for additional ways to become involved, please reach out, and thank you for the opportunity today to share about our work. In closing, local early childhood educators are going to share about their rewards about working with young children, and then we'll take questions.
When I think about the rewards of working with young children and their families, it's similar to the rewards of being a master gardener or a farmer. You're working with fertile ground. You've got students who are so ready to come in and play and touch and explore and be friends. And you have families who desperately want those things for their children. And you've got families who want your partnership. They want to know, how do I help my child? How do I support my child through these early years? And being an early childhood educator, you get to be the partner that those children and those families need.
The number one that comes to my mind is the relationships that I have between the child and the families and myself. Another thing that's rewarding to me is when they're in my care, they may be doing something that developmentally they should not be doing something, and they're progressing at a higher level, and it just makes me proud that they are doing so well.
I think the most rewarding part about my job is watching not only the families and children's grow, but also in my new role, watching educators grow. It's really empowering to see when we start as really new educators and blossom into where we feel confident and we're really able to help children thrive.
Question?
Are the higher end programs in the county at capacity? And if so, how do you increase that capacity?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, our high quality programs are at capacity. The only way for them to increase their capacity is by adding on to their current structure or moving into a building that's bigger. You know, thankfully here in this community, we've had the referendum, which has allowed a large increase in the number of seats. So we're always looking for you know, ways that programs can continue to grow. And sometimes it, you know, takes some creativity in that.
Hi, thank you so much for being here today and for dedicating your life to this amazing work and serving our entire community by doing that. It's a really compelling story, and especially the return on investment is a really great part of your story too. So thank you for that. My question is kind of two parts. In our state, throughout our communities and perhaps other community foundations, is this work being modeled and scaled up and expanded is sort of the first part. And second part is, how does, because Megan mentioned work statewide and nationally, how is government a helpful or not so helpful partner in addressing this important need?
Yeah, okay. So first part of the question, yes, this type of work is being done all throughout the state, and it's largely being done through community foundations or a United Way or a multitude of organizations that come together. So philanthropic efforts in our state continue to drive and fill in the gaps that our state is not providing, which addresses the second part of that question with the government. We need Indiana to not be the one of the six any longer. We need to make sure that we're funding you know, high quality education for all children at all ages. And in support that philanthropy can step out of this role relative to access and start, you know, filling in the gaps on a lot of the other issues that are also lurking in this sector.
Jennifer, thank you for all that you're doing. How do we elevate the lower quality? I struggle with hearing higher quality, lower quality, because it's complete, right? You want everybody to get high quality. What's being done to elevate the lower quality into the higher?
Yes, thanks. Yeah, so we have ran quality cohorts for years. We started, I think, in 2011, and essentially that was taking anyone that was not yet a level 3 or 4 in the quality rating system and partnering with them. It was really just about being a listener, what's working, what's not working, and then how can we step in and help. So we cohort these individuals into what we call a quality cohort. We provide any materials or equipment that they might need to level up, education that they might need as well. An example in our region currently is that we have a program in Crawford County Boys and Girls Club. And in order for them to level up, they had 14 staff that needed to get some education. So we stepped in to say, we'll run a cohort for you. And so we did that and successfully got all of those 14 individuals the education they need. And so now that program is applying to become a level 3. So sometimes it does just take that coordinated effort of an entity that kind of knows the system, which is very discombobulated and super cumbersome, to kind of step in and help push forward. So we've done a lot of cohorting. We've had 60 programs that have gone through with us through these quality cohorts, not only in Monroe County, but that counts our region too. We worked with 22 in the region.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you being here and the work I was a working mom myself, and so I know the importance of having good quality childcare. And so that brings me to the issue of surveying the employers. I saw your answers to those there, and I couldn't help but wonder if there wasn't a question maybe already asked that didn't get reported about whether employers would be willing to come together to provide a co-op type care for some of the working people in some of those businesses. So I didn't know if you'd ask that, or if there might be an incentive for employers to think about something like that.
Yes, we did ask about that type of, not that question specifically, but around some things around some innovative models where employers would come together and sort of pool these resources, funding, and then that would supply tuition cuts or costs. And so we are exploring that throughout the region. It's a little bit tricky in the world of philanthropy about what can be deemed educational. And so again, we're having to do some pretty deep exploration that is extending outside of our state to really better understand what we can do. But we did have a lot of employers around the region that actually gave us their contact information. And so our plan, if we're funded through this regional approach, and then we'll figure out how to do this if we're not, is to really start to cohort, especially HR representatives and getting creative because it is going to take some innovation that includes our business partners along with philanthropy and government to help make some better strides in this area relative to access and quality.
Thank you, Jennifer. Very helpful. I'm wondering where the parents are in this. Do you have a board of operations, or is the Community Foundation Board populated with any parents? And secondly, are parents able to find employment here? You're employing people. Is there a way to helping some of them perhaps be certified in early childhood education? Rather than just doing for the poor, might we find ways that they are represented at the table?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so we are a program of the Community Foundation. Therefore, we operate under our board of directors, and we do have parents on our board, and so that's really great. We also implement family surveys throughout the year through our Let's Read program, so we can garner some voices through that way as well. So that's one way that we interact with families. And, you know, we've gotten to really probably interact most with families during our On My Way Pre-K initiative, really just finding families that meet eligibility criteria to be able to become eligible for the grant. And then, believe it or not, I still get phone calls and email at least monthly from a community member that just calls to say, I need childcare, will you help me? We get that feedback a lot on social media, so we can do some back-end messaging too with families. And I don't know if I answered all the question because there was a second part. What was the second part?
I'm just wondering if there are employment opportunities for parents.
Yes. And yes, of course. And we could help connect families for that. There's a shortage of workers. So if someone is interested in this line of work, we will certainly connect them with open positions in quality programs. And then our state of Indiana actually offers scholarships. They're called TEACH scholarships. It pays for almost 100% of their education. At Ivy Tech, a 4-year degree, they can get as much education as they want through a TEACH scholarship.
Different kind of a question. My understanding is that for many years, preschool teachers have been very underpaid. Can you just comment on that?
They're very underpaid. I mean, they are. It really does cost a lot to run a childcare, and a lot of that driver of the cost is a market rate that's set by the state of Indiana, and so that's a reimbursement for children that are receiving vouchers. We don't really have the market rate right in our state, as do a lot of states don't. We're trying to get better at that, and just this last year, our state did a huge increase in market rate return for center-based care. But not our family childcare homes. And so there is a lot of advocacy work that goes into this position, but also in this sector itself. And so we really do have to do a lot better at legislative efforts that help drive down that cost and allow our childcare businesses to really be smarter in their business practices and profitable. We want them to be profitable because that allows them to increase their pay. The other thing is that it does require an education that isn't compensated once you receive it. So unlike a lot of industries, right, you get a master's degree and you get a bump in pay, or you have a long longevity at your work and you might get a raise. In childcare, there just isn't that floor to be able to do that. So operationally speaking, we have to get creative in how we cut the cost, and that's where the shared services have come in, and the innovative piece like our substitute pool to really be able to allow some relief time. For a luxury like a paid time off, or someone be able to leave the workday to go to a dentist appointment, or for a family childcare homeowner just to make it to the bank to deposit checks before the bank closes. So
If no more questions online, anything else in the audience? Oh, one more.
Thank you. It sounds like a lot of issues could be at least improved at the state level through funding and different things. Who is your legislative support, or who goes to the state and tries to change people's minds and hearts?
yeah, so we have some really great advocacy groups statewide that lead the effort. So through United Way of Central Indiana is a big one, a big voice for this field. And then also IPA, so the Indiana Philanthropy Alliance as well. They'll have state house days that invite these organizations in. They'll also have days just with those in the field that come to the state house as well. Early Learning Indiana is another really big voice and partner in the state that leads some legislative efforts. So we get behind all of those. We're always learning around, especially during the legislative session, what works, what doesn't, and so we stay on top of that, and we're a loud voice in what should be pushed through and maybe areas that are not. This last legislative session, we saw a big passing of a bill, SB 2, Senate Bill 2, and that has provided a lot of changes. And so we're tracking what that means for us as we continue, and what we need to be continuing to push for in the new year.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. In honor of your program and all that you all do, we'll be donating $100 to Bloomington Refugee Support for a quarterly payment. I will just say, as a mother, having moved professionally at least 6 times across various states, the biggest stress point was finding daycare always. And we were blessed that we could go, afford the higher quality. And if something wasn't right, we can make a change. Not everybody has that opportunity. So what you do is very important. All right. It wouldn't be a program without all the help of many of you in the room. And we had quite a bit of a kerfluffle changing. So thank you to all the members for adapting to the Frangipani Marine move to here. At least it wasn't Stateroom East, so Mike was able to somewhat get through the aisles. But Natalie, thank you for all that you do as our executive assistant. Dakir, awesome job. There you are. Greeting. Hank, thank you for the introductions. And Alon/Joy, thank you for your work on Zoom and stepping in at the last moment. Mr. Bright, thank you for the change up on the reflection. That was great. And Elizabeth Thompson, thank you for jumping in at the last moment when we had a void and taking on the reporting. Mr. Shermis, nice job working the mic as always. And then Tyler, of course, thank you for all the audio work that you've done. Next meeting will be on 10/8 in the Frangipani room. And our speaker will be David Matlock on parasitology and animal tales. So having just got back from South Africa, I'm looking forward to understanding that one. And with that, if we could please put up the 4-way test and everyone stand. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, is it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?